Well, what do you know? Weekend Twofer. So, uh, the week has been pretty harsh. A lot of things, a lot of developments at work, and so I wasn't able to take a video. Well, I'm actually more lazy. But one thing that came to mind for the whole week was about everybody's favorite senator, Rafi Tulfo. Two things. It's about his former girlfriend going back into showbiz, and about his hearing in PCSO. Let's start with the PCSO. Well, the PCSO, the thing happening with PCSO is basically the stuff that makes for a good conspiracy theory. You know? For the past few months, I think even for the past few weeks, or past month alone, we've had a series of wins. You know, there's a lot more people winning the lotto than what usually happens. And sunod-sunod. Another thing also is that if you follow some of the political bloggers who are against the side of the government, they're talking about the PCSO head Mel Robles and his connections. Basically, Mel Robles is the manager of one of the political bloggers, former DDS political blogger Thinking Pinoy, who is currently in the UK studying, and people are insinuating he got paid or he greatly benefited from the current administration, and his manager being the head of PCSO. And there was also insinuation by SAS in one of the live streams with Joey DeVive about PCSO, about them a lot of the wins. So that puts in a good conspiracy theory, and it's something that us normal people would not be sure if it's true or not. Some vloggers like Teacher Mark React sort of stated that it's very hard to rig those things. But then again, there's also the conspiracy theory of the election being rigged. So anything's possible. But this whole story is the basic stuff of conspiracy theories. People winning, and even that last time, but when a few hundred people won a specific number, the probabilities are very, very low, and it happened. But it doesn't mean that it's impossible, but it's very unlikely. So these are things that are really, really going, and it doesn't add that the recent winner with the Photoshop picture would also add to the fact that there are some people already putting doubts on the succeeding wins, and those are the times when PCSO decided to add more into the pot rather than the usual pot. Since they say it's going to be an anniversary, they added more to the pot, and then people started winning. That would make people think. At the same time, the Photoshop, because the point of the picture is to prove that there's a winner. But then if everything is Photoshop, then it makes the whole point of even putting a picture there. Why not let the person wear a PCSO jacket, or any jacket for that matter? Because if they're talking about the clothes, then PCSO doesn't have their own shirts. PCSO doesn't have their own jacket. That's pretty hard to believe, and I think maybe if ever in the future, why not PCSO having some like a jacket or something to wear, just to make sure that it is their brand, and it's actually going to be subtle marketing on their part. PCSO, right? They win. So rather than having bad Photoshop skills, which the head of PCSO acknowledges. Also, in the hearing, they were talking about the contract, about together with the OGCC, the Office of the Government Council. But the problem is, I think there's a misunderstanding, maybe more on Tulfo's part. But since he has a document that states that what PCSO is doing is not allowed, but PCSO has a document on their own. So it's document against documents, which I guess it should come to lawyers to check out which document is more valid. But both of them are standing on their documents, which is actually pretty much of a standoff. Plus the fact that I think Tulfo may have misunderstood the difference between the game and the platform. But towards the end, I think he was able to put it together. But then again, it's his document against the document of Mel Robles. And if people are gonna talk about conspiracy theory, they would say that Mel Robles is pretty well connected as well. So it's basically like two maybe two well connected people clashing. And both having their own documents. Right? So that made it pretty I guess even. And Mel Robles was fighting back. He was definitely answering back. It made me remember that the last time they brought the PCSO in, they had that lady lawyer, which I would have to admit she was able to answer everything Rafi Tulfo was dishing, and she was able to answer it back. And I even think that Mel Robles did a subtle dig when he said that we brought in people who are qualified to answer questions, which actually she was. Honestly, it was cringy on Rafi Tulfo's end. But then again, Mel Robles was able to answer and even had his own outburst next to Rafi Tulfo's outburst. But the thing is there that he was able to, on the things that he needs to improve on, he was able to acknowledge it. Yes, we will do better. Even with regards to the cancelled bets, he even said we'll look into it, which is perfect, right? Perfect. Okay, I will fight my claim that the 2000 agents was not under my watch, even it happened on his watch. But then again, with those cancelled bets, let me look into it. Right? I mean, he fought. He took his stand. He made sure that, okay, I do not agree to some of the insinuations that Miss Javier was saying, but for the other things, let me look into it. Which is a great push and pull, right? I'll stand my ground here, but for the others, okay, that's nice. And whatever they say about about conspiracy theories about PCSO, Robles' connection with TP and with Rafi Tulfo, I think he did well. And Coco Pimentel was also there talking about how unlikely it is for the wins, but you really can't know. Even if you're going to math it out, it can happen, but it does make people think. It is basically the stuff of conspiracy theories, with everything happening right now and what's happening with them, with those wins, it really gets your conspiracy senses tingle, and with the conspiracy theories that the elections are rigged or has been rigged or can be rigged and it's been rigged. Why not the Lotto? Actually, I on personal note, there was a party, a year-end. It was a year-end party from my previous workplace, wherein a big number of the raffle prizes were won by people in the IT department, and even the hosts were actually, even one of the hosts was let out a remark, but it's like mostly from that department, and which made people think that it could have been rigged. So we really can't know. There's always somebody who can do it. Lotto, always somebody who can do it, and that's something that I guess on our end, as normal people here, will never know. Attorney Trixie Cruzan is somebody I love watching, who unfortunately is not with Carambola anymore. She's actually my favorite She's my favorite favorite host in Carambola, and it's so sad. And they're also insinuating that that she angered somebody in the administration that pushed her out of that show. Honestly, I mean, I am inclined to believe it. And she was also insinuating some things about the PCSO, which for her, being a former insider, does does make it tingle, And at the end of the day, I'm just a cog in a machine. I'm just a citizen in the country. I'm nobody. I am not I'm not a high ranking official or somebody in that circle. But I think it can happen as I mean anything can happen. But then again on our end, well, at the end we're the ones that suffer. If they really are rigging things, if they really are rigging the lotto, well, it's sad. It's sad. And I just hope that if ever, if ever there really is something wrong happening, I hope it gets exposed. But if there's not, then let's continue. For the people who are betting, then good luck to them. I tried it, but I guess it's not for me. That's the fact that the betting stations are pretty far, which actually comes in e-lotto. I can just log into the app. I have GCash. I have GCash, and I can keep betting. Of course, they're going to verify it. I know they're gonna. It's gonna be verified. So it actually saves me the time to go to a betting center, and it actually spreads the reach. It spreads PCSO's reach. So I think it's a good thing. Those agents already have their core customers. I'm sure they have the core customers already. I think they're what PCSO is looking for. The other people who do not bet, who find it too troublesome to go to a betting station, well, they have e-lotto. I think for me it's a good thing. Because at the end of the day, the mandate of PCSO is to help out with people in need through the lotto system. And as we bet more, they get to help more. But I do hope that it's really going to the people who need it. That's just basically my thing. And I wouldn't have to go to the nitty-gritty about our Rafi Tulfo anymore. A lot of bloggers have touched up on that. Teacher Mark Reacts, has been one of them. And, well, it really helps if you understand and know what you're really looking at. But okay. Now, another thing is about this actress, Barbara Milano. And actually, I never forgot her because, first off, she's a big crush of mine. She's her type. That's actually my type. I find her very pretty. And it was in an old time. I think it's around the early 2000s, or even early 2000s, when there was I was watching those showbiz shows. I think Star Talk are the ones that happens every Saturday, talking about her being so depressed with Rafi Tulfo that she almost went suicidal. But I don't quote me on that. It's one of those things about him, and it's like, she's my crush. And then Attorney Libayan was talking about it, and Sendong was talking about it. Almost everybody of the bloggers were talking about it. And then Attorney Libayan was showing some of the comments that saying that inggit ka lang. Well, if it were me, inggit talaga ako. She was a big crush of mine, one of the sexy stars I really find pretty. And aside from that, I actually like Ines Veneracion. That type. So, well, it's good that she's coming back. It's good that she's coming back to show business. She's still beautiful. She's always been beautiful. She's still beautiful. And with Rafi Tulfo having 4 wives already, right? Even his current this wife he is the congresswoman is not his first wife. Well, I think it's a Tulfo thing. There's the other Tulfo, Erwin Tulfo, has like how many children with 4 women, right? So I guess it might be a Tulfo thing. I wouldn't know, but that's how he lives his life. And I don't think there's not much that Miss Milano said about Rafi Tulfo. It's just that when they interviewed her, just like next time find out if he's married or not. But 3 years, having being married, 3 years. That's if you're like a secret agent, wow, cool. But then again, I wish her the best in her career, coming back into her career, and I hope that she does well. She's still very beautiful, and good luck to her. But that's actually the thing with but the PCSO thing does make a very good conspiracy theory, right? Won't you really